What is Juz 29 like?
So Juz 29 is basically a prelude to Juz 30 itself. So you see, the scholars, they have categorized the whole entire Quran into 7 categories in terms of the messages. So for instance, at the very top you have Al-Fatiha and the what we call the Surah Al-Tiwal, right? And then towards the end, you have in the 7th category Juz 29 and Juz 30. And that is why your Quran teachers, whenever you ask them the question, what surahs or which juz should I be memorizing first, they will say that at the very least you will have to memorize Juz Amma and Juz Tabarak. Right? And there's a reason for that, because these are the building foundations of our faith, and at the core of it is the belief in the afterlife. So if you take a look at in Juz 29, you will see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mostly talks about what you need to do in order to get to the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what are the things that you should not do, because if you do this, it's going to lead you to the other results, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala plays these kind of characteristics through the lenses of our lives today, the people that we interact with on a daily basis, the characters that we meet all around, and drawing parallels with this, it just shows that it just gives us that practical lesson for us to take up, right? So that we can align ourselves, quickly, and for us to disalign ourselves from whatever it is that is not supposed to be characterized in ourselves. So in other words, Juz 29 contains a lot about what you need to do to get to the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So it's a rule for afterlife.
Exactly, rules for afterlife. A lot of the different names of the afterlife is you can find it in Juz 29. You have, for instance, Surah Al-Haqqa, right? Al-Haqqa, the reality, right? The reality that is going to come. It's one of the names of the Day of Judgment.
Yes.
And then you have Surah Al-Qiyamah, right? Which basically is the afterlife. And then you have
Surah Al-Insan.
Surah Al-Insan.
The character of the people of the heaven.
Yes, correct. And then again, at the end of this Juz 29, you have Surah Al-Mursalat, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats talking about Yawmuddin, right? Yawmul Fasl, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats it throughout the whole entire Juz 29. And if you look at it, the beauty of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts with Surah Al-Mulk, right? Talking about how we have no control. As a matter of fact, you have just a choice in this case, that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you follow through the whole entire surah, the last surah that you will find in Juz 30 is Surah An-Nas, right? So it's as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to tell us that you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginning, and then on one end of the path, and then you have us humans on the other end of the path, and where we're going to be meeting, we're going to meet in the middle, right? And that is Surah Al-Mursalat and Surah Al-Naba, which talks about the Day of Judgment. That's why Allah SWT ended Juz 29 with فَبِأَيِّ حَدِيثٍ بَعْدَهُ يُؤْمِنُونَ, right? And so what kind of news that they're going to believe in anyways after this. And in the beginning of Juz 30, Allah SWT started off with Amma yatasaalun. I mean, what are they trying to, doubt? Well, what are they questioning about? Anin naba'il azim, about the great news, right? Alladhi hum fihi mukhtalifun. And Allah SWT said, Kalla sa'alamun. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it now or not, the reality is still going to come, and you will find the truth at the end nonetheless. Each and every one of us, believers or disbelievers. So that is what you can expect in Juz 29.
So I'm looking forward to covering with my students Surah Al-Insan, because Surah Al-Insan covers the story of, selflessness. That in that surah Allah actually praises Fatimah and Ali when they fed the orphan, the poor, as well as the captives. Who would feed captive? But Islam teaches us this because when we do something, we don't expect it from the people, we don't expect it from others, we expect it only liwajhillah, only from Allah. So this is what I want to cover. For me, this is a very important element that Islam taught.
Very nice.
For me personally, I am really looking forward to Surah Al-Mulk. I know it's cliche, but Surah Al-Mulk talks heavily about how when you look around you and you look up into the skies and back, you will realize that there is definitely a creator. There has to be a creator, and that you cannot be just looking around. You should also start listening, because that's the way forward. That's what Allah SWT is trying to say. So Surah Al-Mulk for me is a game changer for me.
I would like to discuss with my students Surah Nuh, solely because of that whatever we have, whatever we going to have, or whatever we had, is only from Allah. And Allah show us the way to open up or to gain His treasure in Surah Nuh.
I'm waiting for the moment where we're going to discuss about Surah 𝐔𝐫𝐫, where the surah that I know, the one that I know, the thing that Allah shared in the surah itself, the part where the resurrection day, that it talks about the resurrection day. So I know there is one part in the surah that Allah shared with us. There is one disbelievers that question, why do you think that resurrection day will happen, and what makes you think that Allah cannot resurrect things if He's the one who put the soul in it? So what makes you think that that's not going to happen? So I'm looking forward for that episode, I think, because I love that story. So yeah.
For me, I think I will go for Surah Al-Muzammil, because usually we know Surah Muzammil always talks about how we able to wake up during the night, when other people are asleep. But it turns out to be something that actually happens during the night. Could be like the biggest secrets of what actually Allah prepares for the reward for whatever you do when you wake up during the night.
Surah Al-Nuh.
No, in Juz 29.
Tadi Al.
Surah Nuh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, that. Alright, congratulations people.